Johnny Rock Show, Rockin' 101, the Rock Station.
The Johnny Rock Show. On the phone, Rutledge Wood, NASCAR analyst, all-around great guy, host of Hot Wheels Ultimate Challenge on NBC. Another great summertime reality show. How you doing, Rutledge?
Oh, man, I'm so great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's pleasure is all ours. Season 1, Hot Wheels Ultimate Challenge, new episodes, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. on NBC, and stream at NBC.com. Now, may I say, I grew up in the 70s, and I was a Hot Wheels kid. How about you?
Absolutely. You know, I was about 10 years behind you in the 80s, but Hot Wheels, that's the earliest childhood memory I have of playing with toys. And, you know, I would lay them all out on my quilt on my bed, and I'd have, like, the trucks in one section and, you know, my hot rods in another place. I would even get my mom's paint pens, and I would customize the paint myself, which is funny because it turns out that's also what I do as an adult today still. But the fact of this show is we take two people and some car from their past that has an emotional connection to them. You know, it could be their first car or maybe their mom's car, their dad's car, whatever it is. And then we give them a team of these incredibly skilled people and give them each a week. And they're building these two cars 30 feet away from each other in these two different garages. And they're trying to turn them into a life-size Hot Wheel. And to see the skill that these car poolers have, that's what we call them, you know, welders, mechanics, fabricators, artists, you name it, to see what they can do in a week and to turn these people's dreams into a reality, it's just the coolest thing ever.
Man, we're talking with Rutledge Wood, NASCAR analyst and host of Hot Wheels Ultimate Challenge on NBC. You can also stream the next day on Peacock. That's what I love about the modern world of television. You're too young, but back in my day, we had a thing called a VHS tape, and you could never figure out how to set the machine. Now it's on. If you missed the initial broadcast, it's on streaming, Peacock. It's everywhere. Well, you also got to
that blinking 12 o'clock on the VCR where you're trying to get it to tape something and it would never do it. My kids won't know that pain. That's a really great point.
Oh, hey, mine is still blinking to this day. Terry Crews, Jay Leno, and Anthony Anderson join you in this endeavor. What was it like working with Jay Leno? I have to ask because he's all healed up, right? He had that bad burn like a year ago.
Yeah, Jay looks incredible. I mean, that guy's so tough. It's so cool because, you know, he's like Mount Everest of car people. And Jay is such a great guy, so down to earth. And the conversations that he had with everybody and the different kind of cars that he knows about and is passionate about are so incredible. But, yeah, we also had a ton of other celebrities. Anthony Anderson, Joel McHale, Sung Kang from Fast and Furious. He's on there tomorrow night. It was so wild to see how cars connect all of us in these different ways. And then Terry Crews, like, he could just not be a nicer, better human being. He's just so much fun.
Yeah, I was going to say, who's in between Terry Crews and Jay Leno? You just have nice guys coming out of your ears, don't you?
Absolutely. And to see, you know, the look on the faces of not only the super fans, the two people whose cars were getting done, but even the carpoolers. There was one guy who was working on a build and saw Jay Leno walk in, and he just immediately, like, had tears. And I was like, dude, are you okay? He's like, that's Jay Leno. He's coming to look at our work, this car that we've been building. And it's this big guy named Mark who's from Iowa originally. And it was just amazing to see that's what cars can do for people, you know, really touching.
And one other observation on Hot Wheels Ultimate Challenge, NBC.
I think they really loved it.
Yes, I do. And I was going to say, I don't think one has to be a car nut to enjoy the show, right?
Definitely not. You know, this is not like a nut and bolt restoration show. This is a show for everybody. This is a show for people that like cars and people who've never even heard of cars, because you hear about the ways that cars, especially in this country, they shape so much of who we are, what our families did, where we went, and for me, I remember the day I got my license. When I turned 16, I dropped my dad off from the testing place, and then I drove around our little town for 9 hours. I didn't have a radio. I didn't have air conditioning. I didn't leave the city limits. I just drove because it was freedom. It was everything that I had dreamed about, and I think that's what really comes through in the show is that you see the ways that cars had this impression on us, and really it was the people that had them, the things that we did. But it all comes through so beautifully that you can know a ton about cars or know nothing about it and still love the show and learn cool stuff.
Do you remember what kind of car it was? I bet you do.
Absolutely. My first car was a 1981 Volkswagen Rabbit pickup diesel 4-speed that my grandpa gave me. And it sat in the New Mexico sun for about 13 years before we went and picked it up. And it was so unique. I mean, it's a weird-looking thing. They basically took the front of a 4-door Rabbit and cut it off and then attached a miniature truck bed to it. They're still weird today. It didn't really it was like an El Camino Rabbit, but it didn't really do anything that well. It wasn't a very good truck. It wasn't a very good car, but I loved it. And if I had a chance to rebuild it today, I totally would. I understood so uniquely what these super fans felt, because if you win the show, you win $25,000. That's amazing, right? But your car moves on to the finale. And so we take the 8 winners of the finale, we put them all together, 8 winners of the shows, put them all together. We pick 3 out of those who then go on to the finale, and they get a chance to build a completely different car. So those 3 people, when they come out of there, one of them's going to win $50,000, and that car that they built will get turned into a Hot Wheels that anyone can buy.
Wow.
That's unbelievable. That's a dream I have.
Rutledge Wood, host of Hot Wheels Ultimate Challenge, NBC, airs Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Central and streams the next day at NBC.com and on Peacock. Listen, you're a gas. Say hi to your co-stars and come on back to the Johnny Rock Show anytime, okay?
I can't wait, pal. Thanks so much for having me.
The Johnny Rock Show. Rockin' 101. The Rock.